Fox News exclusive. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's relationship with Hunter Biden running deeper than previously known. There are emails on the now infamous laptop revealing close ties between Hunter, Blinken, and his wife, dating back more than a decade ago. Former White House advisor Stephen Miller reacting to that last night.
Years later, Tony Blinken apparently being the person who set in motion the chain of events where 51 intelligence operatives falsely attempted to discredit the laptop that we all know is completely real. All arrows point at Tony Blinken. This man has to be deposed.
So, Fox Business host Kennedy's with us, New York Post reporter Jon Levine. Good morning to both of you. John, you've been reporting on this for some time. So he's in court on Monday in Arkansas, Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
And now we find that he and Antony Blinken, they go back a ways.
You know, it's starting to feel very Nixonian. The Hunter Biden blight is kind of spreading to the top aides, to the president. You know, in the olden days, it was Haldeman and Ehrlichman, and now it's Blinken and Merrick Garland. And for example, with Blinken, as Stephen Miller said, he was someone who was responsible for instigating the letter from the intelligence chiefs saying that the laptop was misinformation when we know it wasn't. And in the case of Merrick Garland, he was named, or he is apparently the subject of the IRS whistleblower who's trying to interfere in the DOJ probe of Hunter Biden right now. So the blight is spreading to senior administration officials.
Antony Blinken's wife actually worked for Joe Biden during the Obama-Biden years. However, on the Blinken side of things, on Antony Blinken, this is what gets to me, Kennedy. So he knows Hunter Biden, knows of Hunter Biden, finds out about the laptop and immediately says that must be Russian disinformation, calls his friends in the Intel Committee and asks them to suggests this is Russian disinformation. So they run with it. And the whole time you have to imagine Blinken knows Hunter Biden. So that none of this rang true seems a little bit hard to believe.
No, he knows Hunter Biden, and he knows the contents of Hunter's closet, which contains many, many skeletons. This is a surprise to no one. This should be an outrage to everyone. The relationship, the reason this is important, the relationship is quite cozy. It's quite intimate. Very interesting, the communication that Blinken's wife was having with Hunter Biden, and Blinken's wife was trying desperately to get a hold of Hunter Biden at times. Blinken was very busy, landing in Tokyo, taking off for Burma, but still managed to find time for then Vice President Biden's son. And, you know, who knows the type of thing they talked about? Hunter wanted Antony Blinken's private email so they could talk about things offline, which, you know, even back then was a no-no at the time. But they were doing it, and then he ran cover because he knew what could be on that laptop. Even if he wasn't privy to its particular contents, he knew how damaging it could be. And it's very interesting that his plum assignment at the end of all this, if you get Joe Biden elected president, you will be Secretary of State. So that is a pretty massive sphere.
The waters clearly run deep with this relationship. We know that. Now let's move to what's happening in Arkansas coming up on Monday.
You know, it's my favorite story.
In August of 2018, baby Doe is born. All right, this is the paternity timeline. There's a suit filed in May of 2019. In January of 2020, there's a DNA test confirming Hunter is the father. In 2022, I'm waiting for it, Hunter reopens a request to have his child support payments adjusted. Now, in May of this year, Hunter appears at a scheduled in-person meeting that I mentioned will happen on Monday. He appears to have tried to sidestep all of this, but will not be able to.
This is really just one of the saddest stories in the whole Hunter Biden saga. I mean, you know, for over the years, there's never been a business partner or a foreign oligarch that Hunter Biden or Joe Biden could not make time for, invite to the White House, go golfing, maybe Cafe Milano in D.C. And here we see Joe Biden's grandchild, Hunter Biden's child, and they don't want to know from her. You know, Hunter Biden originally denied that he was the father, and then the DNA test forced him to admit it. Then he was paying child support, but then he wants to adjust it. At every step, he's just wanted to keep this person out of his life, and it's very sad because this is an innocent child, and no one did anything legally wrong here. And I feel like Joe Biden it's a missed opportunity not to embrace his grandchild. And maybe, you know, when he takes a question, someone should ask him, how many grandchildren do you have?
We're waiting for that now. We're keeping an eye on it. We'll bring it to you if it happens.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.